Hello. Today we'll be talking about the PMP450i 5 GHz band integrated access point. This product supports frequencies in the range of 4.9 to 5.9 GHz and is capable of providing 250 megabits aggregate throughput in a 40 MHz channel. It features an integrated 90-degree sector antenna. The PMP450i integrated access point is shipped individually with brackets for pole mounting. Let's begin by looking at the components that come as part of the PMP450i AP. The box contains the following items: the PMP450i access point, ready mounted to the integrated antenna, 2 pole brackets, 2 front and 2 rear mask clamps, and all the required mounting hardware, cable gland, and product leaflet and quick start guide. First, we'll look at the access point features. The AP is supplied already mounted to the sector antenna, and the RF connectors are internal to the unit. At the bottom of the unit, there are 2 Ethernet connectors, the main port and the auxiliary port. The main port will be connected to a PoE power supply using an Ethernet cable. This cable carries power, management signaling, and backhaul traffic. The AP can optionally receive sync over power on this port, using either Canopy or Cambium sync. The auxiliary port supports sync from a UGPS or CN Pulse unit, or from a subscriber module when used in remote AP mode. Alternatively, it can be configured to supply sync to a co-located AP. The auxiliary port can also be used as PoE port to connect accessories such as an IP camera. Just above the Ethernet connectors, there's a row of LEDs, which indicate power applied, sync status, link speed, and activity. Please note, the 2 bolts on the housing are used for grounding purposes. Having familiarized ourselves with the components, next we'll see how to assemble the access point. Assembly requires the use of 13 and 24 mm wrenches. A torque wrench is optional but recommended. First, attach the upper and lower pole brackets to the sector antenna using the M8 nuts provided. The upper bracket is the one with the curved slots for adjusting the down tilt. It mounts above the handle end of the radio with the slots curving downward. Tighten the M8 nuts with a 13 mm wrench. Next, we'll align a front mask clamp in each of the pole brackets and thread the M8 screws into the mounting holes. Tighten these screws by hand, leaving them loose enough to allow for adjustments of the brackets when we start mounting the AP to the mast. Next, insert the 160 mm long M8 bolts through the front mask clamps from behind while the clamping surface is facing you. You may have to swivel the clamps sideways somewhat to make sufficient room. Slide the rear mask clamps into the 160 mm bolts, ensuring that the clamping surface will face the mast when mounted. Then, thread the M8 nuts a short distance into the bolts. Be sure to allow enough room to hook the slotted end of the clamp behind the nut when the antenna is being mounted to the mast. The PMP 450i access point is now ready for mounting. Here we'll demonstrate how to attach the unit to a vertical mast. Free the slotted end around the rear clamps and slide them in around the mast before inserting them behind the long bolts. Tighten the M8 nuts securely on the long bolts using a 13 mm wrench. The bracket is designed to allow up to 10 degrees of down tilt and 5 degrees of up tilt. Note that the sector antenna includes 2 degrees of built-in electrical down tilt. When the desired amount of tilt has been set, fully tighten the screws in the front pole brackets using the 13 mm wrench to lock the antenna in place. This brief animation will walk you through Cambium Network's Gland Assembly. Once the gland has been assembled to the Ethernet cable, you can connect the Ethernet cable to the main port. Finally, screw the gland body into the access point main port receptacle and tighten it with a 24mm wrench to form a good seal. We hope this video has been informative, and we want to thank you for watching.